to the fat lady sings. Oh, you a trip, cause me and you, we got a thing. My sunshine state, hair curly like a string. Just a big ol' ooh, smile, that's about all you gotta bring. So enjoy the ride, got some pillows in the Chevy. Like a darling, low and heavy. Take your time, let me know when you're ready. Couple months, I've been messing with you steady. Open for plans tonight. Lost in the afterglow. Oh, girl, your love for me keeps calling me, so I'm calling you. Lord, give me life to find. I long for your company. Oh, girl, your love for me is a part of me, my biology. Самолет несет меня, будто в кулаке зажав великан. В иллюминаторе земля. Самолет несет меня, большой стальной великан. В иллюминаторе земля. Open for plans tonight. Lost in the afterglow. Oh, girl, your love for me keeps calling me, so I'm calling you. Lord, give me life to find. I long for your company. Oh, girl, your love for me is a part of me, my biology.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a different version of ARL here on a Thursday night. We are doing a poster stream here prior to, or after the race, it should be said, sorry. Just with a few technical difficulties with the lobbies in recent times, we're not going to do this live for the meantime. We're going to do a post recording and bring all the action to you on YouTube here, but we're just loading into the quali session as we speak, but a little rundown as the season goes on. It is Eckerman Huey currently out in front with Svit very closely behind, about 20 points or so between Huey and Svit there. And then the battle really heats up. Apex Kebab, Tadachi, Farmer Sam, Philly, and Apollo, all within 13 points of each other. I can even stretch that out to a Zico, who's only 18 points there. So from 4th to 10th, this battle is super tight. And certainly every race really is all to play for as we head into the last 4 rounds of season 11 here, or season 9 here, sorry, of ARL. So if you're new to the stream and you're wondering how it all works tonight, we have an 18-minute quali which we're about to load into, followed by a 50% feature race here. So we'll have 31 laps around Marina Bay in Singapore. And of course, it is a new track tonight. So as you're seeing the map come up on your screens as we speak, it's 23 turns. Well, no longer. It is only 19. With a massive area of the track taken out of that section of 16, 17, 18, 19 is now a long straight. More commonly known as the DHL corner is probably the best way to explain that corner. As our drivers are just loading into session as we speak now. So I'm just going to quickly do something I should have done prior to the race, which is a bit of an oopsie from me. Apologies, everyone. Get the right division up. That's terrible of me. So on board now. We're just going to do all this, are we? Get rid of all this. Apologies all. Just going to try and make sure that we've got everything all ready to go. Beautiful. Let's start that again. So on board for the new Singapore track. So as I mentioned, we've got an 18-minute quali tonight. So drivers will have 18 minutes to try and get themselves sorted as we head around Singapore here. Now, it is about a 1 minute 28, 1 minute 27 potentially from our Div 1 drivers tonight that we'll be seeing. So you will definitely have a lot of chances to get yourself around 3 times tonight, which is obviously the ideal situation. Give you 3 chances to post that top time on board there. I'm just trying to see who's out in front of one of our reserve drivers, Dutchy. First time we're seeing him back after being a previous winner in this series before in the F1, so he's got the big title to his name. But he will be making his way around as he heads down this new section of the track down into the DHL section. So you can see this right-hander is about right now. So they've now blocked it off. He now goes straight on into the final chicane here, just past the bay, and head closer around into the start-finish straight. So a little bit different, but Dutchy will be the first of our drivers to get on board here and will be the first one to post a time ready for our drivers to see who will take pole here in round 8 of ARL Season 9 with only 3 rounds to go. After this one, we head to our Suzuka in Japan for our last sprint race for round 9. So looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. And always enjoy a good sprint round. Of course, we do the one-shot quali and a sprint round as well next week. So I'll be certainly looking forward to that new attachment that we've done for the sprint series, which has only been used since last season. And I honestly believe it's been a great improvement to our sprint weekends. Dutchy then heading down into Stamford Road here, going into Padang through the Singapore Sling. So this section coming up here kind of turns 10 to 13 across the bridge. This is what you call the Singapore Sling here. You got to go hard right-hand turn. And then this is a little tricky part. You kind of go up to this corner here over the bridge, and it's as hard, it was hairpin of a left-hand turn there. Dutchy, though, takes it well, and we'll head down the straight into our second DRS segment for the track. It's purple sector 2, but of course, being the first driver to go around, he will be the purple sectors the whole way through. Down the new straight here, manages to get a decent time again. I think we saw a 129 by Zilla in our Division 2. So our Division 1 drivers have proven they are quicker this year, which is exactly what we want to see. Dutchy gets on board though, goes a high 29 himself and manages to get himself temporarily into P1. As I say, that's fit though, goes a whole second and a bit faster than him. Gets himself up into the high 128. So Svit in that AlphaTauri has done well there to get himself on temporary pole. But a man who certainly has proven to have speed around this season, Seb in the Mercedes, gets himself around the final chicane at the bay there. Around the last bend, he really can almost afford to go foot to floor there, and Seb gets himself up into pole by 4/10. Massive time there by Seb. Laney then in that Red Bull gets himself up to a 1:29.1 as well, so doing well there for Laney. Boy in the Ferrari, a team that has been struggling a little bit this season. So a couple DNFs, a couple double DNFs for the Ferrari boys this season. So they will be hoping to keep it clean around Singapore, which is commonly known as a bit of a tighter track by our drivers. Obviously, last week we were at Paul Ricard, and they were so used to having a bit more of an open playing field. But here in Singapore, if you spin, you are pretty much guaranteeing yourself, as we just see Fizzo make some contact through the Singapore sling across the bridge there. As Drix now looking to post his first time in the Alpine. Down the first DRS segment of the track. Heads into Memorial Corner here. And again, this part of the section, there's a nice little left, right, left segment of the track. You can always build enough speed to carry through them, but some of these corners, particularly corner 7, there is a little bit of an off-road area, so you can afford to carry some speed through there. Drix goes a little long. He's going to invalidate that lap there. Not happy with that one there. He's going to try again before in his second attempt. So, as I said, plenty of room here tonight to get yourself 2 attempts. As some of our drivers are just heading back into pit lane now, so a little bit of a stagnant period at the moment, as our drivers will look to get their first times on the board. So Apex, one of our Williams drivers, is looking to get themselves climbing up the leaderboard here. Now, massive thing to point out, our championship leader is not with us tonight, so it is Eckham, who you normally see in that Williams. He is not part of tonight's race, and is just leaving the door open just a little bit heading into the last 3 rounds for someone to catch him. So this could be crucial tonight. So drivers who are potentially playing off for a championship crown will be wanting to capitalize on as many points as they can. But at the moment, Seb, one of our reserve drivers, he's looking to spoil the party as Apex gets across the start-finish line, across the timing line, and he will get his first lap on the board. We head through turns 1 and 2 through Shears into the Republic Boulevard here, heading down into this medium-looking straight before turning a right-hand corner into the first DRS segment down the Raffles Boulevard. And this is a long DRS straight the whole way down here into turn 7. Through the Nicole Highway, so a left-hand here, purple sector there for Apex, so on board for a good time at the moment. The right hand takes it clean, going through St. Andrews Road at the moment, as we head down into the Singapore Sling. So again, a crucial area for drivers. This left hand can take you a little bit by surprise. Almost cuts that Apex a little bit too tight, but so far doing well. He wants to be going purple sector 2 to ensure he keeps pole, but here's the left, pretty much hairpin of a turn there. Got to take as wide as you can through this sector. Up to the timing line then. And isn't purple sector 2. So this is going to be close for Apex to try and jump up into that front row, let alone in pole. Heading down the DHL straight now into the final section through the bay. Turn 17, 18, going into 19 now. Has he held it through the final sector? Across the start-finish line, it's going to be good enough for the front row, but still plenty of time left between himself and Seb, who's got 4/10, or almost 4/10 out in front at the moment. So Aris then just starting his lap, a champion in our lower divisions in previous seasons. Started at the bottom of Division 4, won Division 3 the straight after. And he was hoping to go for the trifecta or the back-to-back-to-back here. But he has got a challenge with the top division this season. If he's wanting to take the win, he has got to have some miracles come his way for the remaining parts of this season here. Heading into the Singapore Sling, we've had a Ferrari pull off just to make sure he gives some room. So doing well there. Takes it wide, but again, this part here, got to slow right down for this left-hander. Almost hairpin of a turn. Opens that back wing. Is he improving at the moment? He's not. He's up by about a 10th. So Aris, only about a 10th down on Farmer Sam for that third row. So that 10th could prove costly here. Heading into turn 17 and 18. Looks to be going smoothly at the moment. Comes across the start-finish line. Has he improved? He has only just, but gets himself into that second row. So it's crucial there for my Farmer Sam. Seb, though, look at the time that he is gaining purple sector 2. The man in the Mercedes is proving the speed that he has. Is on board for a 1:27 time around Singapore here. We knew that section being taken out of the track was going to beat some times, but this is a crazy amount of speed here. Into the last corner here. Does he set a new fastest lap? He does. He does break the 1:27 mark, so gets into the 1:27.9 and just pushes further ahead of everyone. Gets about 6/10 in front of Apex there. So as we say that, Laney gets himself up into the second row with a 1:28.4. So tight battle for the front row here between three of our drivers. Darchi bailing out of this one here, so he's going to be sticking at P5 for the meantime. Who else we got going around? Drex has just finished the lap with the 1:29.3, so that'll be his new best time there, so he's done well. You can see drivers now just coming in to get themselves ready for what will be their last attempt around Singapore before we go to the race. So 31 laps you have around Singapore tonight. On board then with Crosser Dog, one of the drivers that we see towards the back of the pack more commonly throughout the night in this Mercedes. So Mercedes really on two opposite ends of quality tonight. Got one who's very comfortably out in pole position at the moment. Another one who's struggling to get himself off the back row. So Grosso, plenty of room to improve. He's got about 2.5 seconds between himself and his teammate at the moment. But even about half a second, well, only half a second is going to jump him up one position in front of Officer Ling. Now, these two have found each other too many times this season. Officer Ling and Grosso, who, must be said, used to commentate together. And, well, the two of them must love each other that much that they just can't stop making contacts, because the amount of tickets that we see every week where it's Officer Ling taking out Grosso or vice versa, it's, yeah, you do wonder if it's a purposeful thing. Again, though, heading down this long straight, first of our DRS segments, back wing open into the Memorial Corner here. That's that little off-road area that you can afford if you want to go too wide into that corner. But this next right-hand bend here, kind of corner 8 there, you just cannot afford to go too wide. You've got to be in single file, or it's a very tight squeeze for whoever is on that inside line. Into the Singapore sling then. This sharp right-hander before going over the bridge. Fizzo has decided to DNF from the pulley, so he'll be starting at the back of the pack tonight. In that Red Bull, again, a team that is struggling on a championship point of view here. Seb then, he's had enough of tonight as well. He reckons he's pretty comfortable in pole. 5/10 up on everyone there. Down the new straight through the chicane. And is that rain that we are seeing just dropping down ever so lightly? This might be, it is too. That's going to be, this may be the end of our quali session as Grosso cannot improve from the back row. And it looks like drivers are starting to retire. And this will be to speed up the quali process here. If this rain is coming down, these times will not improve. So drivers really only had 2 chances to get themselves out here. Svit's going to try and get his lap finished as he's a 10th up on his time at the moment. That would put him in that P3 position if he can get it. Maybe a 10th and a half, which I believe he was. He might get in that front row, but he has got to be quick with this rain coming down. Heading into the last few sections here, that range is starting to come down ever so slightly. Enough for the soft tyres still to be the right one at the moment. Svit will get his time done. Gonna come around as he improved only just. Gets himself into P3. It's the same row as before, but as he goes and crashes out. Very good, Svit. Apex then. Couple of drivers got to try and brave the wet here, as I'm sure you're starting to see those little white droplets pop up on your screen at the moment. A couple of our drivers happy with their times, realise they're not going to probably improve with this this light drizzle coming down. Couple of drivers even choosing to come out on the intermediates, maybe getting a little bit of practice in before the race. Could be a smart option. Apex then in the Williams, trying to get himself up into the front row. This will be the big moment here. Are the soft tyres still worth it? Do you have enough grip to make them worth a quali lap? DRS is still activated, which is normally your telltale sign of a wet quali, so things aren't too bad just yet, but you can see that road just starting to glisten a bit with the water on there. Oh, as Apex goes wide out of turn 7 on top of that, or on top of the, ironically, the Apex, and a little bit of an oversteer there. And I think that's the indicator that we were looking for to say that the soft tyres are pretty much done. Oh, yeah, no, going through that left hand over the bridge, he is pretty much drifting there. And that is going to be the end of our quali tonight, folks. That rain you can just see on Farmer Sam's tyre camera. It's just starting to come down hard enough that it's making a bit of a difference here, so Farmer Sam just going to try and get some practice on this softer, or on this harder tyre, I suppose is the right wording there. But these drivers I think have had more wet races this season than not. So we play on approximate weather, so drivers don't know exactly what the weather is going to be like. But for a lot of these drivers, this is their only chance really to get some proper racing simulation on those wet tyres, as Dutch on those inters just trying to get a little bit of grip going around. He just cannot seem to get the hang of these inters. It doesn't seem to be enough rain where the road is actually getting impacted by it, but Dutch just seeing what's happening here with these inters. But I would say that is going to be the end of our quali. And, well, your grid is as you see it. So Seb, out in front by a country mile, has done well with all of 5/10 up his sleeve as, yeah, well done, Dutchy decides to slide through into pit lane there. Laney will go next to in the Red Bull, so great little result there by Red Bull. Svit in P3, Apex in P4. Tadachi will go P5 along with Aris there, so going to be an interesting battle between those two who have seen each other quite a few times around in ARL World. As Farmer Sam decides to go run into a wall, so very good. But that will be the end of our quali tonight. So just get confirmation of results and make sure I get on the race director. Nice little helmet there that Farmer Sam's wearing. Hoping that we do eventually go into here. So confirmation, Seb, Laney, Svit, Apex, Tadachi, Aris, Farmer Sam, Drix, and Dutchy, and Philly will wrap out your top 10 there. Zico and ABK, the McLarens lock out the fifth row there, the sixth row, sorry. The Ferraris lock out the 7th, and then Crosso and Fizzo will be at the back of the pack there. So, interesting results with the rain coming in. Drivers not getting as many chances as they would have hoped, but it is something for them all to consider. So, make sure to stick with us. Hopefully we have a dry race around Singapore. It is a tough enough track to hold your car for 31 laps on the dries, let alone for the wets. We saw it on Tuesday night, but will we see it tonight? We'll be back for 31 laps around Singapore here for our feature race just after this quick ad break.
G3 Ferrari shirt. It looks so good. I got it from Miniature Motor World, and it was only $40. Where did you get the 20?
Welcome back then to what is going to be a nice little feature race here for our drivers. So 31 laps as we are just loading into the race start. As you're seeing in the bottom right hand corner. I'm just realizing the constructors has not updated in the bottom right hand corner. So ignore the constructors there. My apologies. See if I can quickly get it up for you all. There we go. As you can see, the constructors in the bottom right-hand corner, Williams have got a nice little convincing lead of 35 points. But as I mentioned, Eckham is not here tonight. So Huey, who is also not here tonight. So Sfit is in the driver's seat to try and really gain it himself in that podium position here. Apex and Tadachi also trying to do the same there. So a couple of drivers from our front five missing tonight. And this is lining up to be a very interesting race for all of us to enjoy. So Singapore, of course, is a night race, one of the very few that we have throughout the season that is done at pitch black nighttime. And certainly means colder weather for our drivers to endure. So tyres will not warm up as quickly tonight. So it means traction is not going to be there from the very start. You're going to have to really work on your tyres from the very start here. So this could be interesting. On board, just waiting. There's no formation lap, so we'll be racing as soon as we are ready to go. I'll just make sure that there's no lobby issues. As I said, we've been having some lobby issues in recent times. But looks like we're all clean, which is good to see for once. Of course, the race that we decide to not go live is the race that we that we end up having a clean session. So as I say all that, though. Oh, no, here we go. I was about to say, I hope we're not having any issues. 5 lights on board. We are about to go racing, and away we go. On board with Seb and Laney in that front row there. Looks like we're going to be nice and clear heading into turn 1, but decides to go 3 wide at the back there with the Ferraris. A little bit of contact between the Alpine and the Williams there of Dutchy and Farmer Sam, it looks like, but it looks like everyone is ready and racing to go. No crashes as we've got it side by side with Aris and Dutchy again. Dutchy getting his nose in front going into turn 4. So far, we are all clean racing. Make sure we get all this data up for you all. Get the tyres up so we can see a mixture of hard and medium tyres there by majority of our drivers. Only 4 of the 16 drivers choosing to go on that mediums. As we've had a spin, it looks like Drix has decided to spin around at turn 8. So our first casualty of the night as the Ferrari boys cannot leave each other alone. Fizzo's trying to get a battle with Philly here, who almost gets Crosso up the rear end. But out in front, Seb has managed to keep his lead away from Laney and Apex. So Seb in that Mercedes proving that he just has the speed around Singapore tonight is going to be doing a nice little battle for P1, but all it takes is one safety car, and this group will catch up pretty quickly. On board then, Farmer Sam in P7, heading down the new part of Singapore tonight. And so far, we are all clean racing. I think this must be the first Division 1 race that we've had where we haven't had a safety car in the first lap. So that's a great little surprise there by our drivers. Laney just losing Seb out in front. He is really already racing away with his lead. Already broken that DRS 1 second barrier there as well. So crucial here from Apex to not let Laney get too far in front as Crosso gets that move done on Werribee. Gets himself up into P14. Werribee has dropped 2 positions in a matter of corners down the back of the pack there. So not the night for Werribee in the Ferrari. strategy pops up. So hard medium tyres is the recommended tyre tonight. You can manage to do 31 laps in one stop. However, you just want that little bit of extra pace towards the end, you can decide to do a 2-stop up, which we did see a couple of our drivers on Tuesday night complete that one, so it is possible. However, as I mentioned, drivers on Tuesday night had the privilege of a wet feature race, and it caused a bit of carnage for our drivers. I think we had about 8 drivers who didn't finish the race, as Apex getting a move done on the inside of Laney down the straight here, down the Esplanade Drive. And it can now work on this 1.5 second gap that Seb has already managed to get in front here. So he's going to have to work hard here, Apex, if he wants to get back within that DRS. Going to have to use some of his battery up. And this could be the start of the fight going on for P1. Dutchy then, the fellow Williams driver, down in P6, stuck behind Tadachi in the Aston Martin. As they head down the start-finish straight once again. We head on to lap 3, 2 laps down with a nice little 29 laps to go. Svit now looking to make a move similar on Laney. Laney is just struggling for pace around Singapore tonight. He was good, obviously, for 1 lap pace. But when he's got 31 of them to do, he is struggling a bit to keep up with our faster drivers. Dutchy getting that move done onto Dachi. Just heading into the Memorial Corner, into Stanford Road as well. Gets himself up into P5, but so far looking like a good night for Williams. They could really boost themselves up in this Constructors' Champion. As I said, they had about 35, 40-point lead going into tonight. With only 3 races after tonight, it is a night where you really can see yourself securing positions early on. Farmer Sam then, heading down the Esplanade. And remarkably, it is the cleanest start that we have had to Div 1. The fact that we have not had a safety car, and we have 3 laps in, if you're watching this and wondering what the season is like, it's not like this normally. Normally we have multiple safety cars. Crosso and Fizzo, these two are decided to not leave each other alone. Fizzo tries to do the switchback on Crosso going into turn 18 here, but Crosso's now got Drix on his rear end as well. Crosso's got a mini DRS train behind him. A little bit of action going on in the back of the pack here. It's Tadachi, Farmer Sam, all making moves on Dutchy. Dutchy loses 2 positions in a matter of corners, so goes from P5 to P7, and now has Aris on his back. So these two, we both know, love having their elbows out while defending. Aris is not scared of getting his nose into areas he probably shouldn't, but gets the move done anyway. But here he comes on Dutchy. This is going to be a big test for our, as mentioned at the start of the stream, multiple championship winner. First time in the top division here, Aris, so he really needs to prove why he is a 2-time winner here in ARL. Dutchy now just trying to get this move done on Farmer Sam. He's going to be worried about the drivers behind him. He's got a Zico there as well. So this is a little bit of a 5-car train here. Middle of the pack. As I say that, Tadachi got the better exit out of the hairpin there. We've got to get the inside line given to him by Svit. Goes into the Esplanade corner. They're going to stick side by side. Great racing by the two. Plenty of room given. And, oh, Svit's got to shut the door onto Dachi there at the corner. We're going 3 wide into the final corner here. A little bit of contact between Dutch and Tadachi. No massive effort there, but Svit's loving this. Gives him a little bit of breathing room. Aris manages to get through Tadachi as well. And all quiet on the front at the moment. Tadachi, though, Aziko went very wide into turn 1. Has managed to get it done. And just a mistake there from Aziko. Not the night for him. So, interesting decision to go 4 wide into the bay corner there. That's a, well, almost asking for disaster there. I was waiting for the safety car signal to come out when I was saying all this. But these 6, 7, 8 drivers are not leaving each other alone. This is a really good battle from Farmer Sam all the way down. You can see at the front of the pack there, Seb, Apex, Svit have all got themselves in kind of their own areas. Svit managed to actually get that move done on Laney, so Smith said, "See you later, guys. I'm not getting involved in this anymore," and said, "I'm out of here. I'm off to P3." As I mentioned, Svit and Apex, really important night for them to make sure that they finish on the podium. A lot of the drivers who are in front of them in the Constructors' Championship are not here tonight, so it really opens the door for them to close this gap a little bit. Give them as much of a chance to try to get themselves onto that final podium at the end of the season here. Last race of the season does finish in Qatar, one of our brand new F1 tracks that we are seeing on both the real life calendar and the ARL calendar. So not a lot of experience for our drivers heading into the last round, and especially coming from a track that's going to be Australia. We head back home for the second last round of Season 9 here. It's going to be unfamiliar territories and a lot of practice required for all drivers going into that one. Dutch then, great exit out of turn 3, heading into turn 4, right on the tail of Farmer Sam here. He's got to get DRS open. Farmer Sam's going to be the sitting duck with no DRS to use. Plenty of battery used by Dutch already. In this move should be done pretty easily by the Williams driver. And he will get himself back up into P5. But Aris looking to get the move done on Farmer Sam as well. Almost nudging him through corner 8 there into turn 9 as we head down into the St. Andrews Road before the Singapore Sling. And this is an area of the track that you just cannot afford to make a risky overtake. It's a tight area with the bridge and the hairpin coming up. You've pretty much got to wait for this section after the hairpin. If you can get a good exit, you set yourself up for a massive overtaking opportunity here. Aris opens that DRS wing. He's not going to get any advantage this time as Farmer Sam looks to defend and does. A little bit of contact between Hitachi and Zico though behind them, as the Aston Martin has got to defend from 2 McLarens. So Zico, ABK trying to get the move done, but it looks like ABK is going to try and get the move done on Zico here. No team orders from the McLaren boys tonight. All to fight for as they're both in the... Oh, is ABK a little bit of a spin? Opens the door up for Officer Link behind to get into the points. And this battle of 8 is very quickly getting turned into a battle of 4. So we're getting 2 groups being formed here as our front 5 kind of get away from each other. Dutchy already about a second and a half in front of Farmer Sam. So Farmer Sam just struggling to keep up with the faster drivers out in front here. Aris will not be happy with this. He'll be wanting to try and get this move done on this DRS straight here as Farmer Sam becomes another sitting duck. He's going to defend though. Does maybe a late little bend there by Farmer Sam as he goes into the off-road area there. No, a little bit of damage on that end plate there for Aris. So an unfortunate scenario for the Haas driver there. He's probably not going to be happy with that one. Towards the back of our point sitters though, Tadachi defending from the fellow McLaren. He's in a McLaren sandwich at the moment as Zico did manage to get that move done on him before. ABK now trying to find his teammate. All of these guys are going to be catching up to Aris on those hard tyres. He's going to have to make an early pit stop. Without that end plate, he's going to be pretty much a sitting duck even without DRS. Through the new section of the track into the Bay Area, so 17, 18 and 19, you can see Aris there pulling off to get a new front wing, so that'll almost be the end of his night there. And we are going to be off and racing again, so Officer Ling gets himself up into the points. So nice little play there by Officer Ling. So just hold off. Don't be too persistent. Just wait for your moment to make a move and gets himself up into the last points getter. But as I say that, Farmer Sam, who we saw had to use the runoff area, is on his tail pretty hot at the moment. And he's going to have DRS heading down the straight here. And Officer Ling's going to pretty much be a sitting duck. Or not. We're going to go side by side around turn 7 here. Officer Ling gives plenty of room, decides to play the long game here and just gives up the position to the Alpine. And Farmer Sam finds himself back into the points. Tadachi trying to not let Aziko get too far ahead of him. He's going to stay within the DRS this time. But will it stay that way for the rest of it as we've got a full car safety car? Is that Philly who has gone around? He's lost his front wing. So it is the full course safety car. And Aris, that hurts you dearly. After only just pitting, that is a monstrous disadvantage there for our Haas driver. Philly will be coming into pit lane. Crossover jump just one more position there. And I'll be interested to see who does come into pit. So our top 3, top 4 all into pit lane now. So this is interesting strategy called Dutchie's in. Aziko's in. ABK's got to stay out. Good decision. Make sure he doesn't double stack. Tadachi's in. Officer Ling's going to stay out. Farmer Sam is in. Philly's obviously in. Crosso's in. Drix is not up to the pit lane yet, but we will see. So I think ABK probably the only one of our drivers that got forced to stay out just because you don't want to double stack in pit lane. ABK would have been heavily disadvantaged if he had decided to come in. Aris, obviously no reason to pit. He's got a new car pretty much. He's going to try and jump a few positions here. See what he can jump coming out of pit lane. Fizzo looks like he is going to be coming into pits as well. Going to try and get onto those new tyres. As Wearaboy's going to stay out on those medium tyres as well. So, bit of a mixed bag. Majority of people deciding to pit under the safety car here, 8 laps in. But looks like fresh car, fresh tyres for everyone who is wanting to survive the rest of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see if our drivers can go the rest of the race on the tyres that they've chosen. So, you'll probably get to about the 20 laps to go. Potentially 19, depending on how long it takes for the pack to catch up. Just seeing that Fizzo, the last of our drivers, is really just coming out of pit lane as safety car's just coming down the Esplanade now. So potentially could be all 3 laps. This is back to a close race again with 20 laps to go. Let's have a look at a few things. So fastest lap at the moment goes to Apex. So that's our Miniature Motor World fastest lap. And thank you to them for being our sponsors this season. Make sure to head to their website. They do all F1 merch, your hats, your shirts. And they also do little F1 cars that you can collect. They're pretty cute. They're pretty good, actually. So I would recommend going there. Make sure to use ARL10 at the checkout. So that way you get a little bit of a discount off your purchase there. Let's have a look at our positions. As you can see, no penalties, which actually is surprising for our drivers to not have any penalties. I suppose it is a track to be a little bit difficult to be going outside of track limits there, so no surprise there. But as you can see, ABK and Officer Ling, our biggest winners at the moment. They're the 2 drivers who decided to stay out from not pitting, so nice little play there by those 2. But apart from that, Crosso up 4 positions, our big winner at the moment. Drix down 7, Aris down 6 after that little bit of a bump there by Farmer Sam. So something, not a massively changing group tonight, which is good to see. Safety car just heading in. Around the Stamford Road down into what will be Padang and the Singapore Sling. But so far, that's one of what is averaging about 3 for our Division 1 drivers. It has been a division that has been mocked for the amount of safety cars that they have in one race. And if it's one thing that we do say in the commentary box is that safety cars cause safety cars. So this could be a recipe for a little bit of a segment here for multiple safety cars coming out. But we will be going once more around. That will be the final time for our safety car. As you can see, Fizzo's only just coming down into Padang. And, well, all tight racing at the moment. Seb finds himself down in P3, but on those very fresh medium tyres. We're hoping to take those to the very end here. Officer Ling and ABK both on those old tyres there. So, going to be pretty easy moves by by Seb to get the job done back into P1. Apex and Svit find themselves in P4 and 5. But again, those fresh tyres will come into play. And this will be interesting to see. The old versus the new. ABK in the McLaren will be on the control of the restart here, as Fizzo is just about to join the back of the pack. So this will be our last safety car lap for the night. Well, I should say for the night, but for this segment, that probably is the right wording there. Of course, if you're wanting to join the Discord and join the races, you can still join for the last 3 rounds that we have for this season, just to give yourself a bit of a taste before Season 10 comes in next, well, in a very short time. I will make sure to chuck the Discord link in the YouTube videos title. And that way you guys can join through there and come and join what is the Division 2s on Tuesday night and the Division 1s on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard. There is iRacing League, which is soon to be get up and running in the near future. We had our Season 1 only just finished about a month ago. And Season 2 is yet to be announced, but I know it is just around the corner. So if you're interested in either one of those racing games, you're more than welcome to come join us. So, through the Esplanade, here we go. It is going to be under the control of ABK. And we will be live racing for what is going to be 20 laps to go. So drivers potentially can stretch those medium tyres out for the remaining 20 laps. I think you're going to be having some screaming tyres by the end of that race. But we will have to see how their tyre management goes. ABK out in front in that McLaren, Officer Ling in the Ferrari, Seb and Apex will be in the Williams and the Mercedes. And ABK now just holding this group up as long as he can. As he launches down into turn 19, we are off and racing again. And away we go. Here comes Apex trying to get this move done on Seb as Officer Ling gets out of the way pretty early on. Oh, Seb spun around. A little bit of a crash there by Seb, and he's going to go flying around down the bottom of the leaderboard here. Think he got a little bit of a touch from behind by the looks of things. Svit's going to get this move done on Officer Ling. A little bit of a touch there from the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri as well. This is mayhem all of a sudden. Heading down further, the back of the pack, Farmer Sam on a Zico. I'm just trying to see what happened at the start there. So I saw Seb just, a little bit of contact between Dutchy and Officer Ling. So Ferrari just drops down the back of the pack, not the start that Officer Ling would have been hoping for on those old tyres. He would have been hoping to defend just that little bit longer. As Svit now, got to try and prove that these medium tyres were the better choice. Apex already has made the move on ABK to take the lead in that Williams. And Svit will be not wanting to let Apex get too far in front. Apex, a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. And here comes Svit. Down the Esplanade, Dutchy almost there as well. Going to go side by side, using a little bit of battery to get the move done early on. And does gets himself into P2. Dutchy almost nudging ABK around the Esplanade corner as we head down the new straight here. Apex loving that ABK gave him a little bit of breathing room. He's got 2 seconds now between him and Svit. As Aris and Crosso decide to go side by side through the bay. Gets that move done for P9. Dutchy side by side with ABK on those older tyres. It should be pretty easy for him as Farmer Sam gets the move done on the fellow McLaren of Zico. Gets himself up into P5. Just the medium versus the hard tyre combo there. Laney must have had a little bit of accident in the first, after the safety car restart in the pit lane once again. Farmer Sam trying to get this move done on Azico as they head down this main straight. No DRS just yet. Going to give him the outside line. Going to try and get a switchback move done on the McLaren. ABK doing great defending here on those 12-lap-old tyres. And everyone behind him is going to be getting so frustrated, realising the gap that is being made between ABK and Dutchy. Farmer Sam got to go on the inside into the Singapore Sling, and this is not recommended. Goes wide and has done all clean. That's great racing from those drivers there. Farmer Sam got to try and catch up to Dutchy. These McLaren drivers have done well to keep with each other, as it looks like Philly has spun around. Lost the front wing on that the Alfa Romeo. And unfortunately, we'll be coming in for a new pit. So, and that causes the safety car again. So, we did call it. We did say safety cars cause safety cars. And unfortunately, Philly, after losing the front wing, has caused the second one for the night. So, an absolute mayhem of a start for the safety car restart here. It'll be interesting to see who does come into pits just because of damage and everything. As my apologies, I've got to make sure that I put a message on this. You can see a lot of our drivers deciding to come into pits. Obviously, on board with Philly, who's going to get that new front wing compulsory pretty much to come in under a safety car. Going to be towards the back of the pack here for Philly. He's going to be in front of Seb. No, he's not. Only just. Seb's going to get in front of Philly after that contact as well after the safety car. So our race leader for a majority of the race is now finding himself down in P14. And Apex in the Williams is going to be in control of this safety car restart. Svit finds himself currently in a Williams sandwich. And, well, this will be interesting. Apologies all for those who are watching back, just making sure that everyone in the Discord currently understands why there is no live stream. We do normally live stream these races on Twitch, so if you go to Aussie Racing League in Twitch, give us a follow there. You can normally find us live, but just I think the last 3 races that we've had technical issues between quali and the race. We get through quali, and then I just get the lovely black screen for the race, and I look and I can see drivers who are already completing laps in the Discord. So we've had about 3 races. I only have about half the session streamed, so I kind of got sick of it and wanted to just test out to see what was going wrong. But I'm glad we've managed to get a race tonight, so everyone gets something to look forward to for tonight. As I believe that was that just a penalty that we just saw pop up just then? Let's have a look. Yep, 10-second penalty for Crosso Dog. I would say for speeding in pit lane. Crosso serves one of his 5-second penalties now. And unfortunately, the man is building up quite a large gap for penalties here. So again, the question still remains, will these medium tyres hold out to the end? We will have approximately 15 laps to do for the remaining tyres. And obviously these laps under safety car are helping those medium tyres just stretch that little bit further. I think Dutchy and Azeko and Fizzo, they're the ones who are really in a prime position to hold out all the way here. And on those hard tyres, you can definitely stretch those hard tyres for the remaining laps that we have left. So the medium tyres, I think, for the last 5 laps are where you are going to start struggling here. But we will see how this all plays out. This will be the last of our safety car laps as Crosso is just going to catch the back of the group now. Announcement comes in and Apex been in control of a couple of safety car restarts this season already, so we do know his strategy is to hold as long as he can before he has to go. Svit now in that Williams sandwich, the old team that he used to race for. He was in Williams for about 2 or 3 years there, or seasons it should be said. and finds himself in the AlphaTauri now and is being haunted by his old colours. We head down into the bay, and Apex just holding till the very last second, as we know he does. Most drivers decide to go at this point, and I think he's off and going now. Race is off and racing. Can we be clean through the first couple of corners? Heading down further back of the pack. Farmer Sam worrying about who's behind him. As we head into turn one, you can see a couple of drivers pulling out to get the move done. Looks like we're all clean for the meantime. Philly making a move. Or Laney making a move on Philly there. Keeps it clean between these two, but they're going to go side by side heading into turn four. As Laney trying to get the move done on ABK here. They're going to go side by side as well. Oh, and a spin there by Wiraboy, loses the front wing, and that's going to be a virtual safety car. We've had 3 safety cars in a matter of laps here. Just as I was complimenting the Div 1 drivers for how clean we were keeping it, we decided to make up for it and go 3 safety cars in a matter of, well, sections. So it was all smooth racing for so long. Luckily, it's only a VSC. Wiraboy's going to have to come in for a new front wing, but this is, as mentioned, Singapore is such a tight track. If you get spun or you lose your rear end, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose your front. So it's just such a tight track to navigate around, as we are just waiting for the VSC to let us go racing again. As you can see, Svit just could not keep in line with Apex. Almost outside that 1 second barrier, but at the moment we are all live racing here, and the VSC soon to be turned off. As I say that, we are off and racing. Dutchy timed that perfectly on Svit to get the move done on the inside of the bay. Dutch gives the position back by the looks of things. So clean racing there by Dutch. And is now under pressure from Farmer Sam, heading down the start-finish straight to Darchi. Under pressure from Officer Ling, who's done well there. Sam making his way up the pack again, already making a move on Drix and gets himself back up into the points after what was a disappointing crash out from him after the first safety car restart. And his front 3 managed to stick close with each other. So we have got 5, 6, we've got all drivers, all within DRS. As Officer Ling getting a move done onto Darchi down the turn 7 straight here. We head down into the Memorial Corner. Seb also getting a move done onto Darchi, gets his nose into that right-hand corner there, and has done well. As Tadachi, though, trying to make a fight back as they head down into Padang before the Singapore sling. Laney's spun around after the Padang corner there and is giving that move up. But drivers at the moment doing well to keep it clean. Through the left-hand hairpin pretty much as we head down the Esplanade. Officer Ling looking at Aris. We know Aris loves having his elbows out when defending. He really is a difficult driver to get around. A little bit of a nudge there by Officer Ling from behind as they head down in the new part of Singapore, down into the DHL corners. In through the bay. Officer Ling got to get a nose on the inside. Great little dive there by Officer Ling, but Aris going to have the better corner heading out. But here comes Seb on the inside. Seb's going to try and get the move done. Pushes Officer Ling a little wide, but gets it done for P8. Or for P7, sorry. But Tadachi got to try and capitalize on this Officer Ling move as well. Can't get it sorted, and Seb is now going to try and chase down Aris in front of him. As you can see, a bit of a gap now being formed between Aris and Azeko. Seb just proving that he has some insane speed around here in that Mercedes. They head down the boulevard here. DRS is now activated. It's going to be a sitting duck move here by Aris, and Seb's going to get P6 here. Svit and Apex having a little battle for P1. Svit being forced around the outside here. Got to get himself in front. We have a new race leader at the moment. Svit in that AlphaTauri as they head down into the Singapore sling. And suddenly, this is a great little result here by Svit. As I mentioned, the 2 drivers in front of him in the championship at the moment are not here tonight. So if he can walk away with 25 points, this could be a fantastic opportunity to really catch up in these championship standings. As we head down into another DRS section, we're looking at Seb at the moment in a bit of a DRS train behind Farmer Sam. plenty of defending being done by all our drivers as Aris and Officer Ling are still have not managed to get this move done. Officer Ling is juiced like there is no tomorrow already. Going to be given that inside line once again, and you've got to stay side by side. A little bit of contact with the wall, but for Officer Ling, they're still going to stay side by side. Where Boy's retired. A little bit of contact on the inside by Aris, and he's been spun around. He's going to drop to the back of the pack now, and we have got a safety car. The 3.5 for the night, I suppose, is the right wording there. Drix, Fizzo, Crosserdog, Aris all managed to get themselves in to pit lane. Aris gets a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Crosserdog. That's going to be a frustration call there if I've ever seen one before. No front wing damage by the looks of things for Crosserdog though, so maybe he has managed to get away from that severe collision for Aris, so would be interesting to see what that severe collision was, but I'm sure we will see it after. So if you're just joining us and wondering what's happened in the last 19 laps, we've had 4 safety cars, of which the first 13 laps was clean. So, yeah, it was going real well. I was kind of looking forward to a 31 lap race without any safety cars. And then, well, Division 1 were like, hey, you remember the division you're commentating, right? We don't do that. So, yeah, we're about to do lap 7 under a safety car. Fizzo gets drive-through penalty for speeding under a safety car. And that's pretty much going to be the end of his night, unfortunately. He was competing for that final points position for majority of the night. Could have walked away with a cheeky point. But unfortunately, it is not going to be the case. Gets a second drive-through penalty. And we've got 5-second penalties being handed out left, right, and centre from our front drivers at the moment. Speeding in pit lane. And that's going to hurt a few of our drivers. They're going to want to hope for a second safety car is pretty much what the case is. So we're just going to see how this plays out. So obviously we had a couple of drivers who were in perfect position to get in for a safety car. So just kind of eyeing off those of Crosserdog, Aris, Fizzo, Drix, those that managed to get into the pit lane nice and early. It looks like it is all going to stay as it is as Crosso comes in for another pit. Interesting. Fizzo, though, has managed to get in front of Dutch. And we've seen Dutch also have some speed around the track tonight. So there'll be someone to look out for some early moves as a lot of drivers choosing to go on those medium tyres, which will certainly take you to the end of this race. Once we get down to the end of the safety car here, we're probably going to have about 10 laps or so to go. 10 or 9 laps is basically where we're going to be at. More likely 10. So, no surprise, we've got a couple of drivers going on those softs. I think Zico and Aris, I think that's a nice gamble. I don't think that's too harsh of a gamble. For the remaining race, especially for someone like Aris, who's had a bit of an unfortunate night tonight, down in P15. Really, would have been expecting a points race tonight. So, going on those softs just might be exactly what he needs to get his way through this track or this group of drivers to get himself back up into the points at least. I think if Aris can get himself up into the points, I think that's a good result for what has been an average night for him, that's for sure. So I just got a few stragglers out the back. Aris, Crosso, and Officer Ling, who's currently in the pits. So we will be having the safety car coming in this race. Or this lap, it should be said. This race. Well, you'd hope it comes in this race. At this point, I think we're up to lap 9 of 21. So we have officially finished, well, over a third of this race under safety car. Just over half, or just under half, sorry. But you can see the back of the pack just joining up at the moment. So looking at our fastest lap. Whoa, I didn't realize I could do that. Seb currently holds your Miniature Motor World fastest lap at the moment at 1:32.4. Make sure to use ARL 10 at the checkout. And thank you to those guys for being our season sponsors. And then in regards to penalties, 5 seconds for Svit and Farmer Sam to drive through for Fizzo. I'm pretty sure he's got 2 of those, if I'm not mistaken. And 3 seconds for Officer Ling. And then position changes. Oh, is that Fizzo who's spun around? It is. He's not his night tonight. So Philly up 9 positions. So that's a great effort from Philly, considering how his results early on here. As we have safety car will be in this lap. And then Laney and Aris down 9 and 8 positions, so not the night for them. On board though, up the very front, Seb has managed to get himself back up into P4. And this is going to be interesting. The man who is on pole by about 5/10 is finding himself just outside the podium position after a nice little spin after the first safety car restart, which seems like an absolute hour ago. Philly, though, someone who hasn't been experiencing the safety car restarts, holding them up all the way to the very end as we head into the final bend, and we are off and racing. Here we go for the last safety car restart. Driver's going to be heading down into turn 1. Svit's going to try and get this move done very early, but Aziko putting some pressure on Seb behind. Looks like everyone's keeping it clean. Officer Ling's giving that move up to Aris, who's on those early soft tyres, who's getting up to Fizzo there, and a yellow section for, it looks like Officer Ling, who's gone off track. But his front 3 keeping it clean. Front 4 is going down to Apex now in that Williams, trying to get this move done on the Alpine of Drix. Going to go side by side, heading down into turn 7. Farmer Sam getting the move done on Philly, who's given the move up to Svit, and Philly dropped 2 position in a matter of corners there. Farmer Sam and Svit. Svit's looking to get his first win of the season, so this could be a really great result for Svit tonight. Fizzo spinning it around again at turn 10. Not the night for him tonight, unfortunately. Seb, though, cannot gain any positions. There's been plenty of movement in the podium positions, but Seb just finds himself out of the podiums. I don't think that's going to stay like that for too much longer, though, as here he comes down the Esplanade into turn 13 and 14. Keeps it clean as Zico, pretty much pushing him through the corner as we head down the new straight into the DHL section. Dutch gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. And so far, we have kept it clean. Done well. This 4-way battle, though, for the final podium position is starting to look spicy. Svit posts the Miniature Motor World fastest lap at the moment. As Apex, side by side with the Zico, a little bit of contact between the McLaren and the Williams. Going into turn 1. Is managed to get around him through the little chicane there. Potentially going to give up that position. Probably should. As you can see, is that Drix behind, trying to get himself in this battle as well. This is going to be mayhem heading down the boulevard straight here. Apex keeps P5, heading down into turn 7. Farmer Sam, corner cutting penalty as well, trying to catch up to Svit in front, who has got himself out to a half-a-second lead. And Seb just cannot get this move done on Philly for this final podium position. The Alfa Romeo is proving that he has some elbows to show, and if you want to get past, you have to do it the hard way. Drix, Aziko, Tadachi, ABK, they're all within DRS of each other, all behind Philly. Philly doesn't realise the amount of drivers that are trying to get past him right now. Everyone is within DRS. You can see Apex already showing the light as he's juiced already all the way to the end. So Apex just using all his battery that he can to try and get himself up into turn P4 at the moment. He's alongside Seb going into turn 16. Got to get the move done before the Bayon does. So Apex gets himself back up into P4. 2 previous leaders of this race battling for not even a podium position. As Fit just posts another fastest lap, 2 laps in a row. The man is flying out in front. DRS activated. This is where things can get interesting here. Apex trying to get the switchback move done on Philly. Show Seb how you get a move done for P3. We're going to go side by side between the Alfa Romeo and the Williams heading into turn 4. There's contact between everyone. They've spun around and now they're facing the wrong way and now everyone's just crashing into everyone. It's just chaos. Absolute chaos out of turn 4. If you've managed to get through that without damage, you've done well. We just had so many drivers crash out just then. Philly, a little bit of contact with Apex going into turn 4 and there was just absolute mayhem. 2 drivers facing the wrong way at the apex of the corner, and we are going to have our 4th actual safety car. Our 4.5 safety cars. I can see the yellow dot is out on the course. There is the confirmation. And what a chaotic end to this race, as we're going to pretty much have a sprint race here. Just going to make sure that I'm not getting messages from anyone in the Discord. Looks like we are all clear. Fizzo, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's just not been Fizzo's night, unfortunately. And then a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane. Fizzo is, I think, going for a new record on most amount of penalty points he can have. Where are we up to? Oh, he still just shows a drive-through because he still has one to show. But Spit, Father Sam up to 5 and 8 seconds themselves. Dachi has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane, so he's up to 10 seconds. Dachi's up to 3. Officer Lee up to 8. And with only what's going to be maybe about 4 laps to go in this race, once the safety car does come in, those time penalties are going to be absolutely critical for the final positions here. Drivers coming in for new soft tyres. This could be crucial for some really out-the-gate points here. It could be the least expected result. Seb is currently in a prime position to get himself back up into P1, being one of the few drivers who is yet to get a penalty tonight. So if you're just joining us with 6 laps to go, or if you fast forwarded and wondering what happened, how did the race end up? We had 13 laps of clean racing. It was beautiful. It was great. Beautiful racing around Singapore. We are about to do what will be lap 12 under a safety car since then. So we've almost had full safety cars since. I don't think we've completed a full lap since the first safety car. So, oh, maybe it was lap 10. I'll give credit to the guys. I think it was lap 10 that we had. I think we had 10 laps of clean racing. So, in 16 laps, well, by the time this safety car finishes, it's probably going to be 18 laps. We've had 12 laps of safety cars. So, it's been a thrilling middle section of this. The good news is we're guaranteed 2 laps of racing at least, because safety cars don't come out in the last 2 laps. But as you can see in the map on the bottom right hand corner, Fizzo is almost getting lapped by the safety car, which means we're going to be going the full distance with the safety car. So this might be lap 2 of the safety car, so we might be still due 1 more lap before the safety car comes in. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Of course, we've got 3 rounds left to go for the for season 9 here at ARL. So if you are interested in joining, make sure to join the Discord, which will be in the link for this video. And welcome to come and join us for the last 3 rounds. It will be in a reserve seat, so we allocated whatever seat is available for you. And then season 10, we can look at getting you a permanent seat if there's some available. But yeah, last 3 rounds for season 9. Then we'll have a little bit of a break before coming back for season 10. So we do actually look forward to it. It's going to be a good little season. Don't miss next week as well. We will have our sprint race next week. So we will have a one-shot quali, which I love, followed by a sprint race around Suzuka in Japan. And then, of course, you'll have your feature race straight after it as well, with the sprint race determining the grid for the feature race. So it's 2 races for you all to enjoy. And it's going to be a fun night. Suzuka's not a bad track to do a sprint race around. Plenty of chances for overtake around Japan. So it's going to be a great night of racing. And of course, if you are just wondering who this ARL group is, we race on Tuesday nights for Division 2 at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern. And then tonight is your Thursday night Division 1 league as well. Same time, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern. So plenty of action for you all to enjoy, as we will have one more safety car lap. And it will leave us with a tasty 4 laps of racing. Can we complete the 4 laps without a safety car is now the question. You can see Fizzo is literally half a lap down. He might even struggle to catch the safety car before the end of this lap. So the story of the night, time penalties, is going to be crucial. If you manage to get through the night without a time penalty, you are more than likely going to be jumping positions at the end of this race. So this is where discipline can come into play. We've had a couple scenarios where drivers have found themselves being spun around by going too wide into these corners. We know Singapore is a tight track, so going too wide into these corners is just not recommended. And well, this could become interesting. A full lap race means desperate racing, and drivers are going to really want to try and make those last minute moves, knowing that you've only got to survive for 4 laps. Everyone's going to have 100% battery. We'll have 2 laps of DRS racing, assuming we get through all 4 laps. Otherwise, this could be an absolute mountainful of crashes coming our way. We saw Philly crash out of the race after being spun around at turn 4, facing the wrong way at the apex. Pretty much a sitting duck for anyone who came around that corner. And well, this is going to be an interesting restart. Svit up the front, someone who is used to safety cars and has his own strategy on how he does things. So hasn't had too many safety car restarts this season, so it's going to be something new from Svit, as we will wait for the safety car to get himself in to pit lane, and when we will be off and racing with the AlphaTauri. He's got an Alpine behind him, a very quick Mercedes in Seb, who's got himself up into the podiums. So that is going to be a crucial battle for Svit to be worried. I think Seb, he is on 12 lap old mediums, so they are just that little bit older tyre. He's going to have to be careful that they don't get chewed up. No one really is on super fresh tyres, as Svit's gone super early, and we are off and racing here for what's going to be the restart with a 4-lap sprint to finish the feature race off tonight. Svit has not managed to get rid of Farmer Sam, but he's managed to get rid of Seb behind him. And it looks like we're going to be all clean heading down into the start-finish straight. Going through turn 1 and 2, no one's making the last-minute dives. And it looks like Apex and Dutchy find themselves in those Williams. 2 drivers who were on podiums at some point there. As there's a yellow sector, that's for Fizzo, who's gone around at turn 2 again. Again, not the night for the Red Bull driver. So far, so clean. Dutchy trying to make a move on his own teammate, as Crosso Dog has just dropped off the back of this pack as he finds himself in the points. Crosso, Aris, P9 and P10. Crosso's going to force Aris wide in through turn 8, but Aris almost gets his nose in again. That's a dangerous area, as Tadachi just has to spin out of the way, otherwise he's going to crash there. And it looks like he has managed to keep it clean. Crosso is the one driver out of that whole scenario who didn't have an accident. Aris lost a position to Laney, so he's now out of the points after what's been a disastrous night for him. And we look to be all clean and racing at the moment. Heading down the Esplanade. As Fizzo has had enough for the night, I don't blame him. Been a rough night for the Red Bull driver. ABK trying to get this moved on. Drix, who his teammate though, trying to keep within this Mercedes, as both Farmer Sam and Svit have just gone. They realise they've got time penalties to try and get in front of, but Seb just knows he needs to keep it clean here. Aris gets the move done and get himself back up into the points, but here comes Officer Ling. We're almost 4 wide heading into turn 1. Officer Ling's going to be in trouble here on the inside. Aris goes wide in turn 1. He opens the door for Officer Ling to come through. Turn 2 and 3, a little bit of contact put in the Ferrari and the Haas. Aris, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Probably the least of his worries tonight. And Officer Ling has stuck it for the final points position on the Haas driver there. Aziko almost getting the move done on Seb as ABK gets the move done on Drix. I told you this was going to be mayhem heading into the last 2.5 laps of this race. Drix trying to make sure he doesn't lose ABK in front, but these two McLaren drivers have worked together all night. Is exactly what you want from your team. As we mentioned that, 2 Williams drivers in P7 and 8 trying to see if they're going to battle each other or not. Looks like we're going to keep it as a team-friendly game for the meantime, but DRS is yet to be activated. It will be activated next lap. We'll get 2 laps of it. ABK down the inside here of Drix. Going to force him wide out of the Esplanade. A little bit of contact with the wall there by the Alpine. Apex gets the move done for P6. Is now going to try and catch these 2 McLarens out in front. Dutchy going to try and follow his teammate heading through the bay of 17 and 18. And so far, we are still off in racing. No more safety cars, so we will have 2 laps of racing here. Zico just getting sick and tired of being behind this Mercedes, who's on those old tyres. In saying that, he's on some 10-lap old softs as well. So, Laney, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not his night, not Red Bull's night, unfortunately. As Dutchy Crosserdog now catching up with these Williams and Alpine in front. So great little shot there of the Mercedes car, but I would like to see in front if you don't mind, the EA. Thank you very much. Dutchy getting the move done on Aris, and Aris's night just goes from bad to worse as he's going to be in the final position of our last finishes here. Dutch trying to get this move, has a little look on the inside of Drix as they head down into the straight before the Singapore sling. The sharp left hand before the absolute 90 degree of a right hand turn here. Across the bridge, and here comes the hairpin left hand. An area where if you can get a great exit, set yourself up for what could be an overtaking opportunity. As I say that, Crossing Dog, and oh, it's none other than his good friend Officer Ling. These two, hopefully they can keep it clean. Dutchy manages to get the job done heading into the corner of Esplanade. They've got to go side by side, heading down the new straight though. Got to defend like there's no tomorrow, Drix. Going to be given the inside, but Dutch is going to use that battery to get P7. And Williams find themselves in P6, P7 tonight. And Drix is just going to be careful. He doesn't get overtaken by Crosso from behind. Head into the last lap here. Svit, comfortable lead, 3 seconds out in front. It might be enough to keep him in the lead in front of Seb. Because I know Farmer Sam's got 8 seconds of time penalties. It's a little bit of a spin in Sector 1. It's a Red Bull of Laney. Not a great time for Laney there. Aris is going to pit, but I think he's done it 1 lap too late because he's not going to be able to post a fastest lap. Crosso putting some pressure on Drix. Going to go on the inside here. Crosso going down into turn 7. Going to be given the wide line and does. And here comes Officer Ling on Drix as well. 2 and 1. The Ferrari and the Mercedes managed to find each other through on the Alpine and get themselves up into P8 and 9. These two just need to keep it clean. They have taken each other out more times than anyone this season. And the 2 of them are fighting for minimal points. Up the front, Aziko has just been stuck behind Seb this whole race. Has a little bit of a bump on the Mercedes. Heading into the hairpin of turn 13. And here comes ABK on the move as well. Seb is going to lose 3 positions down into the Esplanade. The McLaren's going to go side by side and contact between the McLarens as well. There's no team love anymore from the McLarens. Zico is going to take P3 on board with Svit, who's going to come around the last bend here. Svit will take his first win here of season 9, but what's happening at the back? Zico is going to have the lead there. And it looks like we're going to be all clean. Apex gets the move done on Seb. Dutchy will not get the move. Seb's going to come across in P6. Oh, Dutchy gets spun around at the end. And Officer Lean goes P10. Crosso manages to get himself up into P9 due to penalties. And what an absolute mayhem ending to this race. We knew that the last lap was going to be something of nosedives and everything going on. So I'm not surprised to see what we saw tonight. And, well, it would be interesting to see what results stay as they are, as we're on board with a man who has probably had one of the toughest nights of driving. Been spun around 100 times, been on all sorts of decisions for the night as he's put on the wet tyres and just said, I'm going to have a drift session. And to be honest, I don't blame him. This has been an absolute mayhem of a race tonight. And, well, as we're just seeing Harris try to spin around the start-finish line, goes across it backwards. And I think that kind of wraps up Harris's night, to be honest with you. Get a confirmation of the results here for you all. And then that will be the end of our post-race stream. Something new for you all to experience tonight. This one would be a permanent record for you all to watch over and over again. As confirmation of the results, as we get the black screen, are we going to be given the race director? Oh, we are. Gives Fit a little bit of praise. He gets his first win of Season 9 in that AlphaTauri. He's been working hard for that one, so he'll be quite happy with that. And a great result with both Eckham and Huey out tonight, so crucial points there for Fit. But confirmation of results, Svit, Ezekiel, and ABK are your podium winners. Great result from McLaren getting double podium. Farmer Sam, Seb, Crosso Dog, and Drix, Apex, Dutchy, and Officer Linga are your points getters for tonight. Mercedes get 2, Alpine get 2, Williams get 2. So great team efforts from a lot of drivers tonight. Tadachi, Laney, Aris, Fizzo, Philly, and Wiraboy are your unfortunate drivers not to get any points tonight. I'm just making sure I get all my race directors. There was a lot of race director tonight, as you can see. And pit stops. Beautiful. Alrighty, all. That is us done for what is going to be round 8 here at Singapore. Apologies for the no live stream. Well, hopefully tonight is a good sign that we can go back to live streaming next week. So we'll give it another go next week. And we'll be back live for the sprint race around Japan for the Suzuka International Racing Course. But I've been Butters, your commentator for tonight. It has been a privilege. And remember, Tuesday night, Div 2, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern. Then we're back again for Thursday for our Division 1 drivers. And we look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you all, and have a good night.